Ladies and gentlemen, this is the headline. This is the headline. This is the headline of global news. President Ibrahim Traoré is a gift from God for Africa. Yeah, this week he made a strong impression. RFI is complaining. Yes, these are lamentations. And you know, when RFI has to address a topic, it's because France is giving the instructions. That means it's the Élysée itself that's crying. Macron is crying. And so, his media are broadcasting his tears. No, Africa, they have understood that Africans are awake. And not only Africans. RFI is complaining. They are complaining. That is to say, it's just incredible. We have won a good part of the battle. RFI is complaining. And in its lamentations, what does RFI say? RFI says it's impossible to go on TikTok or X or Facebook without coming across a video supporting Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Hundreds of videos, viewed more than 1 million times. Ladies and gentlemen, this struggle that we are currently engaged in, everyone is fighting their battle in their own way, according to their small means. But it is starting to bear fruit. RFI is complaining. It is lamenting. You know, what they wanted to do to President Ibrahim Traoré? It's the opposite effect they have seen. The general, that fake American army general, what's the Englishman's name? Who is the commander of AFRICOM, I believe? The United States Units for Africa. He came out to cast shame, to discredit Ibrahim Traoré, so that his people would hate him, so that Africans would hate him. But it's the opposite. It's the opposite that happened. You can't imagine. They organized this well. They would need to say that Ibrahim Traoré is squandering the money, the gold, of Burkina, so that the Burkinabe become frustrated, start to hate their head of state, so that Africans see Ibrahim Traoré differently. But on the contrary, it has led to an unwavering wave of support for Captain Ibrahim Traoré, to the point where even they are astonished. They are surprised. They don't know what is at the root of this. And what surprises them the most is that it's not only French-speaking Africans who support Ibrahim Traoré. That is to say, among Ibrahim Traoré's supporters, there are several Americans. Notably, they highlighted the case of an American influencer who came forward and spoke. There is, that is to say, when he spoke, he warned them, saying, if anything happens to Ibrahim Traoré, you will see me in your path. And he is American. Black American. Yes, he is neither Francophone. He is an English-speaking Black American. There is also another artist. I don't know what his name is. Sordid. Ghanaian. If I'm not mistaken. He just tweeted. He just made a tweet where I believe he says, God, protect Ibrahim Traoré. There were 1 million comments. They are surprised. What surprises them the most is that these are people who are not Francophones, who are English speakers and from other countries. Not to mention us who are from Francophone countries. On RFI, go to the RFI page, you will see. They complain, they lament. They can't believe it. They say, but listen, this wave of support for Ibrahim Traoré shows that Abraham, that is to say, the support goes beyond the borders of Burkina. They are overwhelmed. And when I see this fake artist Fadal saying, my brother, you talk too much, while others continue to support this man, it's his own African brothers who start talking. Can you imagine how shocking it is. The English general made the increase in popularity possible. He was already popular, but he allowed it to increase to show how much more popular, powerful, influential, and charismatic Ibrahim Traoré is. Because Africans and other nationalities have demonstrated clearly that he is a gift from God who should not be touched. He is a gift from God who should not be touched. Just a little word he uttered. Usually, people say little things like that. When they say them, it passes, and then, later, it has a negative impact. Besides the organized support in Burkina and elsewhere, it has now helped to publicize Ibrahim Traoré, to show that Ibrahim Traoré is a true patriot. France is overwhelmed. It's France and the Americans who are behind this. There was an attempted coup against him, where they went through one of his very close bodyguards, Bazoum, to whom they gave $5 million. There you have it. We know how that also ended. This attempt to eliminate President Ibrahim Traoré, which he regularly announces, is not a lie. Because the gentleman, he fiercely fights against imperialism, both in practice and in the messages he conveys. The world is proud to see Africa today with an open mind, understanding things very clearly. Otherwise, how can one say that Black Americans support Ibrahim Traoré? Otherwise, before, they would say their thing like that, and it would pass. Before, it was like that, and it would pass. But this time, it didn't pass. So, what are they saying? RFI says that in most videos, internet users speak facing the camera. That is to say, like this. We see their faces openly. They thought people would hide. They say that people speak facing the camera, and they describe with superlatives the political actions of the president of Faso. The phenomenon goes far beyond the country's borders. What did these people want? Among these relays, they read about many Americans, nationals from English-speaking African countries, like the Ghanaian rapper Sarkodie, or the influencer Wodemaya, with 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So, they say it's a phenomenon. The phenomenon of support for Ibrahim Traoré goes beyond the country's borders. That's how it is. It's Africa that is awakened. This gentleman, he will be acclaimed to be president of the African Union. Or we dismantle the African Union and he takes the lead. They haven't seen anything yet. Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue. I say congratulations. Congratulations to everyone. Congratulations to all of us. Yes, it proves that we are succeeding in our struggle. Let's go. They haven't seen anything yet. They haven't lamented yet. Thank you for sharing the video. Thank you for sharing as much as possible. Share as much as possible. It costs us nothing. It's our way of supporting Ibrahim Traoré. Did you see? We don't have a TV to sit and watch. But social networks have influenced so much that RFI is forced to talk about it, to complain. You go on YouTube, you find it. You go anywhere, you find it. That's the Africa of sovereignty.